You ever feel like you're just stuck on a hamster wheel, running a race that isn't even yours? Well, the whole being boss idea is about hopping off that wheel and, building your very own track. It's all about freedom, the freedom to make your work fit your life and not the other way around. But for so many of us, that feels like a total fantasy, right? The reality is, well, it's a bit of a tough pill to swallow. A recent poll brought out a pretty shocking number. Get this, a staggering 70% of American workers are not happy with their jobs. And that's not just a statistic. It's like this quiet epidemic of people feeling unfulfilled. And it makes sense because our work has the biggest impact on our overall mood. So when you have that many people unhappy at work, it's really no surprise that so few people would describe themselves as very happy. It's a huge wake-up call. So that's the big question, isn't it? How do we break out of this cycle? The book, Being Boss, pretty much offers a roadmap, and it all kicks off with the real stories of the women who created it. So let's meet Kathleen Shannon and Emily Thompson. They came from totally different worlds, but ended up asking themselves the exact same huge questions about what work and happiness are supposed to look like. Okay, so you've got Kathleen. She did everything right. Good grades, steady corporate job, even a mortgage. But she had this calling to go to Mount Everest, so she traded that whole predictable life for a wild adventure and eventually her own creative agency. Then you have Emily. Her journey was different. She saw how unfulfilling jobs affected her family, and she just knew she had to create her own way. She started her first business when she was only 18, and even after Hurricane Katrina wiped it all out, she bounced back and built a successful web design business. So these two, they connect online and they start having the conversations that nobody else was having. We're talking the raw, honest stuff about clients, about money, about how messy it actually is to be your own boss. That vulnerability created this business bestie bond and sparked the idea for their amazing podcast. Their stories really paint the picture of what this is all about. So what does it really mean to be boss? Well, it's got nothing to do with a fancy office or managing a bunch of people. It's a complete shift in how you think. And here it is. This is the core definition from the book. It's kind of like a three-step dance. First, you own who you are. Second, you figure out what you really want. And third, you go out and actually make it happen. It's all about taking the power back to create the life you've always imagined. This quote just nails that whole make it happen idea. The boss life isn't some magic trick. It's a marathon. It's about consistent, focused work, day in and day out. That daily grind is what eventually makes you look like an overnight success. Okay, look at this. On one side, you have the boss mindset, right? It's confident, it's strategic, it's about community. Then on the other side, you have the unboss mindset, driven by fear, playing the victim, always looking for someone else's approval. The question is, which side do you want to live on? All right, so you've got the mindset. Now what? Let's dive into the nuts and bolts, the actual framework that turns this whole idea into a real plan for your work and your life. These 6 pillars are basically the building blocks. It all starts with your mindset, because that's what helps you set your boundaries. Your boundaries then help you form good habits, and those habits are way easier to stick to when you have your wolf pack, your support system. And all of that comes together to serve your work and, most importantly, your life. Okay, we've got to talk about a word that gets a really bad rap: hustle. The Being Boss philosophy is here to rescue it. They redefine hustle not as this shortcut to burnout, but as the engine that powers smart, focused action. So let's be super clear. Hustle is not just sitting around dreaming about your goals. All the stuff you see here, planning, researching, thinking, it's all super important. But it's the warm-up. It's not the main event. So if that's not hustle, what is? Well, it's the doing. It's the action. It's the actual stuff you can point to. It's writing that blog post, recording that podcast, sending that invoice. Hustle is the bridge that connects your ideas to reality. And here's the real game changer. This hustle energy isn't just for your job. To really live a boss life, you've got to bring that same fire to your personal life. That's what they call the life hustle. Investing in your relationships, chasing your passions, going on adventures. It's about building a whole life you're obsessed with, not just a career. So we've looked at the problem, the people who figured it out, the philosophy, and the plan. Now it's your turn. It's time to take all these ideas and really make them your own. So I'll just leave you with this question, because it really gets to the heart of everything. What's your next move? What's that one little piece of hustle you can do today that will get you one step closer to the life you actually want? Because being boss isn't some destination you arrive at. It's the choice you make every day to show up and do the work.